how do you feed 1.6 million children a day? How many villages are you in? Who provides the food? How is it prepared? How does this work?
Yeah, well, maybe in terms of the basic model, again, it very much grew out of what we'd learned in the years before that. And, a couple of things were really key from the beginning. First of all was that we felt if this was really going to work in any meaningful way, it had to be owned by the local community. It could never be something owned by us, charging in from outside, thinking we had the solutions. So that took the form of, when we had that idea in Malawi after I'd met Edward, we had meetings in some of the communities there. And we said, look, we've got this idea, but we won't go forward with this idea unless you believe in it. We won't go forward with it unless you want to volunteer your time and take responsibility for the daily cooking and serving of the meals. And immediately the people who'd come to those meetings said, yes, this is what we want for our children. And the other part of the model that linked to that one was that as much as possible, we wanted the food to be locally grown, to be sourced locally, so that we would help the local farmers, so we would help the local economy. And that in Malawi became a corn-soya blend, a porridge mixture called Lukuni Pawa. All of the ingredients grown in Malawi and fortified with vitamins and minerals. You say vitamins, don't you? Not vitamins, but that's what we call them here. So that's how we began. That local ownership being key, and that's how it works to this day. So whenever we go in, are invited into a new community, that's the first thing to establish. Are you willing to take responsibility for this? We're never going to come in here and do everything. We're going to help you. If you can't afford to buy the food right now, that's our part. So when we go forward like that, then our job becomes about buying that food, transporting it to the school. We help the community build a kitchen and a storeroom. Again, as much of that as possible by them, we ask them to do that, and most of that is done by the community. And then we monitor it. Our team would visit the schools at least twice a week, stock take the food, make sure it's being used the way it's intended to be used, and train the volunteers in health and safety and hygiene and all those things. And then those members of our staff, they would also be responsible for collecting the data that proves the impact of the project, collecting data around, is the school enrollment increasing, is attendance rates improving, is academic performance improving, so all those things. So it's a very, very simple model that we just replicate village after village. So we're now in 19 countries. So those nearly 1.7 million children are spread across 19 countries, and very different environments, very different cultures, some different aspects to the delivery model in terms of some of it's through partner organizations, some of it's through our own entities that we've founded in those countries. But at the grassroots level, that model I described is always pretty much the same wherever we are.